Joining me now is Colorado Democratic Congressman Jason Crow. He's a member of the Intelligence and Armed Services Committees, and he's a former Army Ranger. Congressman, it's good to see you again. What do you think needs to happen now that we have this report, and certainly in the wake of the scathing Senate report outlining the failures of Capitol Police and its intelligence?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Eamon. We're encountering the same problem with all of these piecemeal reports and investigations that we actually encountered leading up to January 6th. The problem with having this piecemeal approach, one investigation here, one committee oversight report here, is you get glimpses of what's happening, but you don't get the full picture, right? And it's the lack of the full picture that's preventing us from actually deciding what needs to be done to move forward and to prevent further damage and to make sure this never happens again. Now, I'm actually leading a government accountability office investigation. I requested it in the House, and I'm conducting oversight of the investigation. That's going to give us more information, but it's not going to give us everything. What we need to know is what Donald Trump was doing, who he was talking to, what happened in that conversation with Kevin McCarthy, all sorts of answers to questions like that we can only really get through a commission. And we have to continue to press Republicans to join us in doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I just want to remind our viewers, because we were showing those incredible still pictures of you in the chamber while that attack, that insurrection was happening, because I know you talked about the mindset that you are in, drawing on your experience in the military in that moment. Let me play for you, sir, if I can, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and what he had to say about this today. Watch this.
Today's report is one of the many reasons I'm confident in the ability of existing investigations to uncover all actionable facts about the events of January 6th.
So do you think existing investigations are sufficient to get to the bottom of the root causes of January 6th in a report that doesn't even mention Donald Trump's name, or, as Senator Schumer said, other members of Congress? Or do you think the GOP is underestimating the need for a 9/11 style commission?
Absolutely not. That's the point that I just made. You can't piecemeal this with investigations that are looking at things around the margin. There's one commonality to all of this, and that is Donald Trump. This would not have happened had it not been for Donald Trump and his enablers, those who supported him, those who supported the rioters, the insurrectionists. But we have to look at this holistically. We have to look at the growth of the big lie. The big lie, which helped create the insurrection on January 6th, is actually growing. It's deepening in America. So until we actually look at the root causes of this, the growing conspiracy theories, the misinformation, the disinformation, and the role of Donald Trump and his enablers, we are not going to stop this. This is not.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Congressman, real quickly, should the Democrats be prepared to go it alone on this if they have to?
Well, I'm not going to let the Republicans off the hook. That's for darn sure, right? They bear responsibility here. They should be held responsible for governing as well. They have an obligation to join us. They will always have an obligation to join us. That obligation will never end. What I will say is that House Democrats will be prepared to do what's necessary to protect the country, to do right by our law enforcement officers, those who made great sacrifices on January 6th, to secure our nation and to address this ongoing problem. We will always step up and do what's necessary to resolve the issue, but the Republicans always have an obligation to join us and do the right thing.
And finally, Congressman, if I can, I know that a big part of this report also focused on the preparation. USCP, one of them told investigators, quote, "We were ill-prepared. We were not informed with intelligence. We were betrayed. We were abandoned by all the deputy chiefs above that day. We still have not been told where exactly the chiefs were that day and what their role was on the 6th. Your thoughts on that? Do you think accountability has been applied to the USCP's leadership in this so far?
Well, the answer is no, right? You can't have accountability without truth, without actually uncovering the facts. And the problem with some of these investigations, including the Senate one that was just released, is numerous officials refuse to comply. So one deputy chief didn't actually interview with the panel. We didn't get information from the Department of Justice yet. So there needs to be one entity, a commission or a committee with subpoena power that can compel that testimony, compel the production of documents to get information. We owe it to those officers who very courageously held the line. Listen, I may not be here today if it had not been those officers holding back that mob and that riot in the way that they did. I have an obligation to them to seek the truth and to hold folks accountable to put them in that position.